this video, we'll be going over graphing systems of equations. And more specifically, we're going from the equation form to the graph form. So before we get started, what is a system? So a system is when we compare two or more equations. And more specifically, when graphing, the solution to a system is going to be when the two lines intersect. Since we're looking at linear equations, let's do a quick review of linear. We know that the general template for a linear equation is going to be y equals mx plus b. What does the letter m stand for in this equation? We know that the letter m stands for slope. And typically the slope can be broken into two parts. On top we have the change in y, and underneath we have the change in x. What's another way of calling the change in y? We know that the y-axis measures from top to bottom. So sometimes we call the change in y the rise. What's another way of calling the change in x? So we know the change in x measures from side to side. So sometimes that's called the run. So in other words, the slope is rise over run. The last part in our equation is going to be the b value. What does this b value stand for? So the b value typically stands for the y-intercept, or sometimes is known as the starting point. We always start things at 0, so the y-intercept is going to be whenever the graph crosses the y-axis, because that's when x is equal to 0. Keeping all of this in mind, let's go and take a look at our first system. Again, this is a system because we're looking at two equations at the same time. So, looking at our b value, where should my starting point be? Since my b value is -3, I'm going to move down 3 spots, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be the start of my graph. Now taking a look at my slope, which direction do I need to move to reach my next point? Since my slope is 1 over 4, I'm going to rise up 1 spot and then move to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my next point is going to be right here. So connecting those two lines, I can make equation 1. Right here. All right, and that will be my equation 1. All right, let's take a look at the next line. For equation 2, this is my b value. So where should my starting point be? So on my graph, I'm going to need to move up 2 spots. So that would be the start of my second line. And taking a look at the slope, which direction do I need to move to reach my next point? Since my slope is 3 over 2, I need to rise up 3 spots and move to the right 2 spots. So my next point is going to be right here. So connecting those 2 points, I know that my next line is going to look like this. Okay, that's going to be equation 2. So what's going to be the solution to the system? Where do these 2 points cross? I see that the intersection is going to take place right here. So where is the intersection located? Where is that orange dot? The intersection of these two graphs is going to be at -4, -4. So this is going to be the solution to the system. This point solves both equation 1 and equation 2. Let's take a look at our next system. Right, looking at equation 1, if this is my b value, where should my starting point be? Right, I need to move up 1 spot to 0, 1. Now let's take a look at the slope. Which direction do I need to move in order to reach my next point? Since my slope is -5, 3, I need to move down 5 spots, down because it's negative, and I move to the right 3 spots. So my next point is going to be right here. So, connecting the 2 points, let's go ahead and make equation 1. Okay. There's equation 1. Let's go ahead and graph the next one. If this is my b value, where should my starting point be? I need to move down 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, so right here. That's the start of my second line. And looking at the slope, which direction do I need to move to reach my next point? Since my slope is -1, 3, I need to move down 1 spot and then 3 spots to the right. So it'll be right there. So the solution to this system is going to be where these two lines cross. So where do these two lines cross? Right here. So where is this orange point located at? What's going to be the solution to both of these lines? So that orange point is located at 3, -4. And we know that this point has to solve not only equation 1, but also solve equation 2. All right, let's take a look at our last system. If this is my b value, where should my starting point be for equation 1? I need to move up 3 spots. That would be my starting point. And taking a look at the slope, which direction do I need to move to reach my next point? Since my slope is 1/4, I need to move up 1 spot and to the right 4. So my next point would be right here. And connecting the 2 dots, I know that my graph is going to look like this. Okay, that would be equation 1. All right, taking a look at the next graph. If this is my starting point, or this is my b value, where should my starting point be? I need to move down 4 spots. So my starting point would be right here. And taking a look at my slope, if my slope is 2, which direction do I need to move to reach my next point? We can think of this 2 as 2/1, because 2 divided by 1 is just 2. So I need to rise up 2 spots and move to the right 1. So my next point would be right here. So connecting those 2 points. All right, here is going to be my equation 2. So what's going to be the solution to these systems? Where do these 2 lines intersect? Where is that orange dot located? Where do these 2 lines cross? Right, the intersection is going to be at the point 4, 4. And we know that this point has to solve both of these equations. So, it's a quick summary. We know that a system of equations is when we compare 2 equations at the same time, and the solution to a system is going to be where the 2 graphs intersect.